Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the All World Gaming League community. We tonight have ourselves a match that you don't want to miss, and welcome back to Season 3. Tonight it's going to be myself, Blaze, brought to you in association with Crisis.
Hello, everyone. Tonight we have Imperium versus Lycus Empire, and as you can see behind me, we are going to Bank. It's a map that has just been recently put back into the competitive pool, and we're actually seeing a lot of teams, even in the Pro League level, starting to play this map. Some of those older ones that have been tried and true and tested, they're starting to fall out of favor, so it's good to see some fresh blood coming all the way down even to the T3 scene.
Yes, and not only to mention that, but as well, we have Imperium choosing to be on the attack first on Bank. Now, that is an interesting thing to see. I personally like seeing that because that shows you that they're pretty confident going into their attacks and executes. Going into Bank specifically, notoriously more defender-sided map, roughly about 49 to about 55% split for defender win rates, depending on how the bans go. But that's another thing to bring up. I mentioned this easily can be a very defender-sided map with the bans. And speaking of, we're going right into them right now.
Yeah, this is definitely played by the bans, right? You look at like the downstairs site in a vault, for example. If you ban Habana and Maverick, and there we're gonna see Habana being banned out by Lycus Empire. There's so many hatches. Ace can only get one hatch. Thermite, yes, he can get two, but a lot of times you're gonna want him to get walls. Maverick can get the hatches as well. It just takes a little bit more time. So this is definitely so far, I mean, Habana Thatcher, this is pretty basic stuff. And definitely looking to be a little bit more defended siders so far. And there's the Kayed ban as well.
And I like the Kai ban here, especially with Thatcher being taken off the board. He has so much potency on this map and allows the defenders to have a lot more space than the attackers might like. And as well, Valkyrie gives so much intel, and specifically on Bank, with it being so open with its rooftop, those Valcams can actually be very hard to identify and get out of the woodworks here. Start off, we are going to be going to CEO, and on that Valk comment here, on the attacker side, we actually see Ken Pecky bringing out the Zero, and similarly to Valkyrie, Zero can place his Argus cameras in positions that are really difficult to spot out and find, so unless you see the camera deploy, it can be a real nuisance for these defenders here.
Yeah, Zero is an operator that has been seeing a lot of play on maps like Chalet, especially as well, just because there are so many nooks and crannies, right? Like, that's the thing with Bank, the map is so big and there is a lot of open area, but there's also a lot of places where you can just kind of hide those Argus cams. While they do make a sound, you know, they make that classic Sam Fisher noise that we all know and love so much. If you fire them far away, or if there's a lot of other noise going on around you at the same time, you might not hear them being deployed. We are going to go top 4, though, as Lycus Empire is going to decide to protect this CEO area. Evil Clouds running around down there, probably hunting, I would guess, as he is playing the Bandit. We're going to see the Jaeger setting up some AS there to protect Kanto's spot. But we're also seeing the Wamai brought as well. So lots and lots of anti-projectile, which looking at the team we brought here, we're actually going to see a swap onto the OSA, which is going to be huge for all these windows.
Yes, OSA, having recently come into competitive play, already seen quite a bit of use, especially inside of NAL recently. If you watched the Parabellum Beast Coast match, executed really well on border. But right now, we're just going to have the attackers currently posturing up the building, trying to put some pressure on these windows, potentially even the skylights here. Initial droning coming out from Nightmare. For those who don't know, Nightmare's been in the competitive community for quite a while, actually, having been on quite a few teams. And right now, just a little bit of initial drone work coming out, making sure that the area near and around Square is going to be clear, but look at this hold that Lycus has currently set up. It is super long range and very difficult to flush the defenders out.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing these long angles created again. You got the Wamai, probably going to be running that 1.5 on the MP5K, a very good gun. Also, you have Ozone playing the Jaeger, so guns that can do some damage as well. You got PKers on the Echo, who also has access to 1.5, but you're hearing some explosions go off. That is going to be the wall being opened up, and we're going to see Campeki just walk in as Osa and set the shield down. We could be seeing a rush plant here, ladies and gentlemen, as now we're going to see the smokes coming out from Tomato. Or those are flashbangs, excuse me, not smokes. So no smokes to cover the plant, though. But we are going to have Campeki back out here. Take a little bit of shots, however, behind the shield. We're going to see Tomato start. And we have the coverage as well from the hallway. Another great use. However, Jaeger able to get a kill off as we see the Echo Yokai doing some damage as well and stopping that plant. Diffuser is down on site, though. Grenade, unfortunately, going to be picked up by the Magnet here. So Imperium, a good first attempt at a push here, but unfortunately, Lycus Empire was right on top of it.
Yeah, and Tomato going down there specifically is really, really unfortunate because they didn't have any pressure over by the janitor side, so that Jaeger was able to just sit in there uncontested, getting that crucial information off the Echo Drone, and Campeki going for round 2 here might actually get the case down, but no, the Echo Drone does concuss him off of that plant for just a moment longer, going to be going for that second restick, but we have Spads currently getting a pick on the big guy. Now going to have the Wamai off the board, and now in a post-plant situation, Echo not able to have any more effect, and now we're going to be seeing Focal go down, ELJFA also going down, but we also have Evil Clouds getting one in return for his efforts, but now we have Peekers in a 2 versus 3 situation, as I do believe Ozone is still injured. It's a Janitor Campeki also chiming in with another on the Peekers now, currently holding down from that Osa shield. We have Focal flanking around, but no! The upside down repel from Spads on square ends the round out, and now we have Imperium leading off this score 1-0.
Yeah, great repush there coming out from Imperium. They lost their initial planner, and yes, those yokai drones are an absolute menace, right? Those things can just wreak havoc. They're not as deadly as they used to be. They're not invisible anymore when you stick them to the ceiling. So you have to see them be a little bit more active. Echoes have to be more active on them. And of course, with them not being invisible, they're easier to shoot as well. Those Osa shields, though, very interesting placements. Chose not to put them on the windows, but instead use them in sight. You saw the swing there that was protected from that janitor doorway into the main hallway of the top square, but it didn't matter as you had the Yana watching on the upside down repel. So a great rebound there from Imperium. They lost their thermite early. Case was in sight, and they were able to rebound and hit the round.
Yes, and especially with those Osa shields in particular, you saw from Lycus, you had Bandit with Evil Clouds and Big Guy who was on the Wamai. Impacts in C4 were nowhere close enough to destroy those shields or potentially get the pick off on the person who was planting just inside the breach. And so that lack of pushback from Lycus onto Imperium through that breach really put a hindrance on what they could do in that round, and inevitably led us to where we are currently in this 1-0 situation.
Yeah, and right now we are going to see another one of these attacker picks, the new system that was brought in this season. Lunik going to be swapping off onto everybody's favorite operator at the moment, Finka, and they're just going to let that LMG sing. Beautiful, absolutely lovely words being sung there, and you can see it opened up that long line of sight into Kanto spot. There were no reinforcements, so any defender who's going to be making a rotate there is going to possibly be in some trouble as well. See the castle barricades coming out, and now Lunik is going to have to try to swoop around. Might be trying to use that gun from a distance, maybe take one out, but Nightmare is going to come in and start doing some vertical work. Be careful here, as there could be a roamer lurking around, and you also have Oryx that you have to worry about on the board here. Big Guy playing that Oryx, and you can see we have PKer sitting right here on the back stairs, and oh, he's so close. He can almost taste the kill that could be coming around out of that admin office, but he's instead going to choose to fall off and fight another day.
That situation with Peekers on the main stair could have been very dire had Nightmare chose to swing out from long desk there, especially since Peekers had opted to bring that Mossberg shotgun out over the SMG-11 in that situation. not going to really be doing too much damage if you're peppering an opponent from long range there. And as you can see, all the attackers now are inside building and working off of this vertical play with a little bit of horizontal. As you saw, we have Lunac here over in the Teller's area. Nightmare now rotating over towards Spiral Stairway here. And we still have Peekers here on the main stairs. And do my eyes deceive me? Is that big guy in the basement right now?
I believe he's in the elevator area, but we're going to see Tomato try to open up this wall here. Is Kenpecky is right there to watch anything gets swung. It actually is. He's in the vault area. And this could be a very good flank here. Remember, Oryx has the ability to hop up through and could be taking out whoever is in that area. We're going to see the explosion go off. Tomato going to get that wall open. The impact trick not effective. Becky here with that lovely SK3000. He's going to fire in a can. Might be using his bait. His lung kick is actually going to be able to take out big guys so that your Oryx up the board. Focal going to be going down as well. So effectively, we're in a 5v3 now, a 5v2 as Ozone goes down to the Thermite of Tomato. PK is going to get one back on Sonic. That's the Finga off the board, but Tomato going to be getting the plant down. Grenades coming as well, so they're not going to be able to get the pickup, but Spudsack going to get one as well. The 4v2 situation. The diffuser is down. Now we have to play for the retake. Focal getting taken out by Nightmare's grenade, and it's all going to come down to the less than half health Malusi of Evil Eye. Coming up here on main stairs, they're going to try to use the vertical holes that the attackers placed earlier to their advantage. They know that the hatches are open. They know the floor is open. They're getting some pings out as well, potentially from those bulletproof cameras. He's going to be able to get one onto the sledge, and that's Nightmare down. Still has a lot of work to do, but this could be winnable. Time is ticking, though. Has to have at least 7 seconds left to get that defused. Going to be firing through the wall and do a lot of damage. Tomato not going to be able to finish him off, though, and unfortunately, oh, he's going to get one, but Kenpecky's right there. Time was running out anyway. A valiant effort from the Malusi, but just not enough. As a zero pulled off a nice flank coming through the basement area up through the back of the main stairs and was able to get a kill. Imperium going to go up 2-0 now.
And I do think this actually shows a lot for Imperium. Not only was it their choice to choose what side they wanted, but they chose the attack on Bank. And so far, that is paying dividends for them. Up 2-0 on two of the more defender-favored sites here, both on the open area hold and the CEO. But currently, we're going to be seeing Lycus rotating back up to that top floor site. We're going to be seeing them what appears to be repeating the same setup that they lost with in that first round. So right now, if I'm Lycus, I'm trying to identify what went wrong on that first hold, how we can go about correcting it, potentially even seeing Big Guy and Evil Cloud's positioning a little bit closer to that breach to get an Osa off the board should the Imperium choose to bring it.
Yeah, it's not so much they did a lot wrong, right, or that they didn't do enough. It was just they weren't in the position, and also people were just kind of dying all over the map for Lycus Empires. So it was an unfortunate situation. However, we're not going to see the pick onto the Osa this time. So no shields to worry about. Instead, we are going to see a buck coming out, which to me says that they're going to go underneath with Spud and do a lot of reverse vertical play here. There are the bandits on the board, so they could go down underneath and shoot those out. Effectively working together with the Zero, I would assume, but you could always use Zero as a distraction as well. Who knows? Only time will tell. We're going to see Big Guy posted up here outside of the janitor office. Again, there's no Osa, so this will be an okay place for him to spot. He has those magnets. He'll be able to protect himself for a long time and be able to keep that shield from being destroyed. However, PKers, if there's a roamer nearby, this could be huge, as the Yokai drone could stun the Finka, get a massive pick here, but unfortunately not going to happen.
Now we're going to be seeing Spadsa as well as Nightmare doing some of that bottom-up vertical play in through Janitor and Open, as well as getting some rotates into the archives opened up here. Right now, Spad's trying to potentially get this person inside of meeting desk, but they are not currently biting the bait. And right now, just some pretty passive gameplay going on from both of these teams.
Yeah, both of these teams kind of restricting each other a bit more, but now we're going to see Tomato start to get this wall open here, potentially just kind of waiting for that cover. And you can see Kenpeki is here with that zero, holding it down, holding down this super long angle here. Still Tomato just waiting for that call out to be able to blow the wall. They got to drone everybody out. They got to know where they are. Still have Nightmare underneath with the frags and potentially get a kill as some yellow pings come out as well. Coming down a minute though, so Imperium going to have to make a move quickly.
And as you saw from Lunic there, they did have some intel onto a player inside of that presidential archway of inner banana area. Tried to land a nade, but it didn't quite hit its mark. And again, this yokai drone just giving so much intel on the lurk that Lunic is bringing out here. And some vertical play coming out. But, oh my goodness, Lunic with a nice shot. Still being contested from Banana here. Isn't aware until the shots land. But look at the time. We have Imperium currently getting the plant down. Tomato inside Nightmare taking quite a bit of damage there from Big Guy over by Janitor. And we're going to see Kenpeki and Lunic chiming in, getting Ozone and Evil Clouds off the board. But Peeker is chiming in with another. Now taking out Tomato now and hitting the fuse below. Currently, Spads can't hit his shots, but there in the end takes out Peekers after Nightmare chimes in with another, and yet another perfectly executed round coming about from Imperium. And right now, if I'm Lycus, I am sweating.
Yeah, things not going well, right? We have a technical pause coming out here as there was a little bit of an audio issue. So we're going to take a little bit of a pause here, but that gives us more time to break down that round. As I said, we saw the bot underneath doing what Bucks do. Essentially, with Buck having the hard breach tool now, as well as the skeleton key, you could call him Breach Chatty if you wanted to. He has just tons of destructive ability. And we saw that he opened up the hole directly underneath the diffuser as well. So even though PK was able to get over there and start diffusing, a valiant effort. Pros don't fake. And he was definitely trying to hold it down, but the holes were already made. The sound was coming through, and unfortunately, he was in like a 1v3 or 1v4 at that situation. So that's pretty much all he had to do. Just wasn't there. Great plays coming out from Imperium. Lycus Empire, though, before the technical pause, we saw that they were going to be going downstairs. I hope that kind of sticks because they need something to go right here. And you could argue that the downstairs vault site is probably the easiest site to defend. So they definitely need this one. At best, they're going to split this half, but that's never good enough, right?
Yeah, you never want to see a 3-3 split, especially on these kind of coin flippy style maps, banks, villas, chalets, and sometimes even clubhouse, but that's still a little bit more defender favored than it is attacker favored. And so whenever you're on these maps that have really close splits in regards to win percentages, you really want to get that 4-2 split. And speaking of splits, we're going to be seeing a split hold coming out from Lycus Empire. They're going to be diverting some of their forces upstairs into that kitchen and open area to deny square.
Yeah, this is really interesting. It's also separating the team massively. And we're going to see Nightmare just come smashing that window open quickly, but it's castle barricaded off. So not going to waste any time. They're just going to move up. This is very almost reminiscent of like the SSG roam on Clubhouse, right? Where you'll see when they're defending basement on Clubhouse, it's just this crazy roam going on. And now we see that with Focal as well, playing the Vigils. So going to be able to stay off drones for as long as possible. But we are almost a minute into this round here. A Nightmare upstairs. Both of these hatches are reinforced, so he's not going to be able to do anything about that. But that sledgehammer will be able to break some of the wooden floor and could potentially get some angles onto the players. And as soon as I say that, Lunik going to take out PKers. That's the castle off the board, and Lunik going to get another one. But Ozone going to finally finish him off. Tomato, though, going to take him out. It's a 4v2 already, and this is the problem. You're so separated that you cannot get the refrag. Tomato is down here in the garage area. He has the case in hand. Nightmare going to be rotating down the back stairs. We have to figure out what Clouds and Big Guy are going to be able to do about this, as Spud is going to be sitting here just watching in the server room. Tomato still not ready to push in just yet, but with a minute 40 and a 4-2 score line as far as man count goes, now 4-1, it's Nightmare's going to be able to get one as well. Minute and a half, I think Imperium is in a pretty good spot here.
And this is exactly what I wanted to bring up when you mentioned this was an SSG style roam here. Cloud's taking out Nightmare, also going to be going for this pistol fight here onto Zero, but Konpeki, impeccable shots as he does end up taking out Cloud's, bring Imperium up 4-2. Going back to that previous point, the one thing that the SSG style roam was really folded to was those stock blue rushes. There's always a point in one of those really extended roams where if you go through to push, it's going to create a huge inflection point on those extremely thinly spread attackers. And Garage is that point on Bank. It gives direct access to site. It is wide open and massive. And since you already know 2, 3, maybe even 4 of the defenders are going to be holding up top, it's most likely not going to be actively held. And that's exactly what we saw Imperium do once they identified the hold. They just shuffled 4 of their players in through, 3 of their players in through Garage, 1 into Server to apply a little bit of split pressure. And then you saw Nightmare coming in from the top floor to get that little pinch and cutoff play from the main stairs.
Yeah, I mean, look, Lycus Empire, they're down 4-0, right? They've got to do something here. They've got to make this a situation where it works for them, because right now it's not working. Everything they have tried, everything they have thrown at Imperium has failed. Right. They've not had a successful round. They haven't even had a round where it was close, other than that very first round. It has been the last 3 rounds of just Imperium having their way with Lycus Empire, and they've really, really got to pull it back here, as they only have 2 more rounds on the fence here. Definitely don't want to go down more than 4-2 on Bank.
And that 4-2 scoreline still doesn't feel good when you get it, especially since you're starting defense on Bank. You haven't been able to get a single point, and the rounds haven't even looked close. But right now we're going to be seeing Tomato opening up into elevator hallway here, forcing peekers to fall back from their original position onto the lower main stairs, try to hold any crosses and cutoffs from tellers or that hallway right now. And as we saw, Lunik is attempting to enter into tellers right now, but being just a little bit leery, being active with that drone work right now. Tomato as well, rotating over, trying to get a little bit of pressure in over here. Potentially going to be opening up that teller's wall. And yes, we are going to be seeing that second exothermic here being placed to open up into tellers, to have that little bit of extra direct line of play into tellers. And surely by now it's going to be known there's someone playing on the bottom main stairs. And Lunik taking a pre-fire as they go for the cross here, but now going to be trying to nade into small office potential. No, into archives. Try to flush out any roamers, as Imperium gets a lot of map pressure onto Lycus here.
Interesting that they would use the other exothermic. Also, it's interesting, Nightmare continuing his reign of terror here, going to be sludging open this wall, but also getting the kill onto Cloud. Focal, though, going to be taking out Tomato. It's the thermite off the board, and then will be cased down. His big guy going to be hopping up through the hatch, excuse me. He's going to be able to get one now as well. Spudsack not able to look down through the hatch. Was going to try to get one on a big guy, but now he's there, and he's holding that tight angle. Case is down. You can see it on the floor there. And now Imperium, 35 seconds left. Focal going to take some damage, but still alive for the time being. Nightmares, he's going to ring some shots for the softball and try to get anything done. We're going to see the Finka boost come out here. We could be seeing a last attempt at a push, because they've got to do something. Imperium has picked up the diffuser. That's Lunik with it. Now they've got to get into the site. That entire wall is soft, so Nightmare could have his way with it, but has to watch out. Oh, the evil eye is going to be sitting there just spotting them. They're going to know exactly where they are. The Banshee coming out. Nightmare coming down. So is Spud. His big guy gets one, but so does Ozone. All going to come into 1v4s. It's Lunik, the Finka, the one you could want to have, but it doesn't matter. He's able to get one, but PK is there with the SMG 11. And finally, Lycus Empire able to get on the board here. Very nice looking SMG-11 there. That black ice with the white attachment skin. Ooh, looking so clean. Just like Lycus's round there. A much, much needed win.
Much needed need, and that really came down to those two opening picks that we saw there. We had Tomato and Kimpeki both being the opening picks. That's your Zero off the board and your Thermite off the board. Now, while the Thermite had already really done his job, he had used both his exothermic charges, he still had 3 flashbangs in pocket, which could have been extremely useful in that execute there. But unfortunately, not able to make it happen and ended up falling there right before they started going for that execute. Good work from Nightmare, however, did come out by getting Evil Clouds, who was inside of Archives, but it just wasn't enough, and they ended up just completely falling by the wayside by this alternate open area strategy that Lycus had brought out.
Yeah, and even though technically Imperium did get the opening pick onto that Malusi, it just wasn't enough. You know, they were to get one, but then the rest of them just fell like a house of cards as they tried to push in through sight with so little time left. And this is what I was saying, they used the exothermic charge to get into the logistics area. You have Zero with 2 hard breach tools, and instead you choose to use the exothermic. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me, but that is why I am the caster. However, we are going to see an Osa and a Finka swap here, ditching the Zero and the Zofia. Lunik, though, just really swapping LMG for LMG at this point. But we saw the Osa shields do so much work. And look at this board here. We still have 2 impacts on Big Guy. Evil Clouds has his Nitro Cell. They're going to have to be very wary of these Osa shields because they were able to just do so much damage with them the last time they brought this on this attacking side.
And speaking of attacking, we're going to be having Imperium attacking into a more default style of CEO here, as we are going to be having those left side walls into square being fully reinforced off. It is still, from Lycus, the heart of their hold they've been doing, however, as you still have a lot of those horizontal long angle lines of sight. You just don't have the same long angle open into square. So far, right now, we're going to be seeing Imperium still attempting to take the site the same way they have been doing, opening up that right side CEO wall, going to be posturing over, droning, figuring out where these defenders are currently located to try and get an Osa shield down on the ground for that plant. But notice here, there, oh, so unfortunate. Nightmare from the window shoots the yokai drone as it was trying to get in position. That's a lot of intel being taken off the board for Lycus.
That's absolutely huge. We have the bulletproof camera though. Going to be able to call anything out as Kenpeki though. Oh, there goes the bulletproof camera. As soon as I say it, Spudsack though going to be taking a lot of damage from a fight down below. Evil Cloud's going to be able to finish it off. Does have the nitro in hand here. Could be going for a potential stop. It's PK here. Going to take out Tomato. So that is your Thermite off the board and Case on the floor. Lycus Empire really bouncing back here. See Lunik trying to chase down that bandit that caused so many problems earlier, and he's finally going to be able to take him out. So that's the bandit off the board, but a ton of damage has been done. Down less than 40 seconds here. Grenade going to come out and do a little bit of damage to Oza, but still in the fight. We're going to see Focal shooting some shots through the soft wall. Nightmare going to be taking a bunch of damage and eventually go down. Pecky goes down as well. It's a 4v1. Again, all going to come down to the Finka. We've seen the Finka in clutch positions before. This is one of the better operators to have in this scenario. Looks the wrong way. Big Guy swinging with that MP5K, gets the yellow ping from a teammate. Great work there as finally, again, we're starting to see Lycus Empire string 2 in a row together now. A lot of momentum there at the end of the split, but they're going to have to carry it now onto their attack, which could benefit them. I mean, we've seen so far Bank be very attacker-sided, so maybe this could just be what Lycus Empire needed.
Yes, finally starting to show a pulse in this match. Lycus finally bringing out the adaptations that they needed to be on the board. Now, again, 2-4 scoreline, still not the best, having started on your defensive side first here. However, we do actually have a lot of good things coming out from them in that last defending round. You had Evil Clouds go below, end up catching out Spads unaware, as they previously on their past CEO holds had not a single player below inside of the time frame in which Imperium went for their execute, that first 90 to 120 seconds, that first minute and a half to 2 minutes. And Evil Clouds ended up catching Spads unaware and off guard, and as well ended up using their C4 not to deny a plant, but to deny the OSA shield in sight. That prevented Imperium from having the control of that breach the way they wanted to, and as a result, they ended up just crumpling.
Well, I think it was designed to stop the plant. It's just that nobody had moved in for the plant. So, pseudo, facto, whatever you want to call it. He was attempting to stop a plant, but managed to get rid of the OSA shield as well. However, now it's Lycus Empire's turn to attack here. We are going to an open area attack. We saw Big Guy was on the knock, deciding to swap off, though, for the time being, is going to be playing the Finka. I don't really think that's going to shock or surprise anyone. Finka has one of the highest pick rates currently in all of Siege, no matter where you're at, whether it's competitive, ranked, casual, doesn't matter. She's everywhere. Oryx, speaking of the man who can be anywhere, Konpeki, going to be taking some damage in this elevator, and unfortunately, he might be pinned here. Yes, he can hang up onto the hatch, but he will be dangling for a second. He could get caught here. It's now Focal going to be doing some vertical work, making it some more open floor plan here. But Big Guy going to take some damage as well. Has to be careful here, as there is Spudsack playing right here at the top outside of Janitor in Highway area. Ooh, sprinkle some shots, but not able to connect. Oh, it has to be very close here. Going to be making the rotate, and the Sledge will hear that shotgun. We just have to see if they can do anything about it.
This top floor roam here for Imperium isn't getting them exactly what they wanted here. As you see, Spuds does get caught in rotation as well as Konpeki, but Focal does end up chiming in and getting another pick after Evil Clouds did fall there. And with that, another thing to point out is that SAS pistol does an incredible amount of damage, so it's not necessarily a bad side piece. It can still 2 to 3 shot just about anyone in the game here, but we do have 50 seconds here as Lycus is currently moving up to the site, getting ready for their execute. And Lunic with a nice shot on the Big Guy after Focal gets one on Tomato. This is going to be a lot closer than I think people are going to think.
Yeah, we're going to have to see Lunic fall all the way off, though, on the Thunderbird. Everybody is at full health. Remember the changes recently. Thunderbird no longer overheal you if you're at max health. So, unfortunately, nobody going to be getting an overshield, but also Big Guy gone. So, right now, there's not going to be any healing going on, and Focal's also on very low health. So, like you said, this is a lot closer than people might think here. I'm going to shoot that, get it right out of the way. No more Kona Station for you. Both members of Imperium are on the other site. So if Ozone could get in here and hold this angle and cover PKers, this could be an absolute win here for them. No, they're not going to take it out as Lunic's going to get 2. That's a 3 for the round now. Can he get the last one? Going to have to bounce out PKers, getting stunned by the Yokai. Lunic, though, on very low health. PKers is going to go down. That's a quad kill for Lunic. He's going absolutely nuclear this round. Give him the defeat. Oh, come on. Nightmare not able to let his teammate get the defuse as well, but a very impressive round nonetheless, as Lunic goes from essentially support operator to support operator, playing that Finka so much on attack and now going to the Thunderbird, doing work either way, also going from Spear 308 operator to Spear 308 operator. Obviously running the LMG on Finka, but just do you think he has a type? Is basically what I'm trying to say here.
Nah, clearly not. You know, he's just playing it for the Healy boys, obviously. But very well held around there from Imperium, and very, very well placed shots coming out from Lunic. Now sitting at a pretty 12-5, first player to break that 10 kill threshold in this match. They're going to be on the Echo this round now. going away from the healing and more towards that intel gathering, and we're going to be seeing their second preferred site here being basement. Now, Lycus only went here once, and they had an extremely top floor focused extended hold into this square and open area section of the map that unfortunately for them did end up faltering and falling by the wayside as a result of huge pressure being applied through garage. And we are also going to be seeing that blue stairs hold coming out from Spad and potentially Tomato.
Yeah, what we're seeing here is a lot different. Big guy swapped off of the Finca to the knock. So doing the absolute reverse of what they did last time. We are going to see Spudsack, though, playing the Warden at the top of blue stairs. Sometimes you'd see a smoke playing there, but no Jaeger on the board. So that's important to remember. Those Wamai magnets, if an explosive does get caught by those, if it's not far enough away, it could actually still end up destroying that shield. So you're going to have to be very careful about that. But we are almost a minute in here, and Lycus Empire, they've moved a little bit into the actual building. Focal on the top floor here doing some work. Going to potentially be opening them up. And you can just see Evil Clouds just holding that blue doorway, making sure nobody gets through. Big guy going to be sticking around through the back stairs here. Not being able to be cloaked is massive on a map like Bank with so many cameras, so many things you have to watch. You could be getting some sneaky stuff done here in Focal. We're going to see the drone coming out here. That's the Warden. So no flashbangs are going to work on him, but a grenade might work. We're going to see now the Zofia doing a little bit of teamwork. Oh, that magnet, though. That's catching the grenade. That's what I was talking about. We're going to have to see. Oh, it was far enough away. The shield is safe. So he's going to be able to sit there and keep playing that spot.
Another thing to bring out from the other side of the map is notice Big Guy on the knock. He is currently running the hard breaching charges instead of grenades. That's a swap up from the norm, but we're going to be seeing Server Execute currently coming out from the other side of the map. We have Evil Clouds getting the opening pick there on the Spads, overstayed their welcome there just a little bit too long, ended up falling by the wayside, and now server control sits squarely in Imperium's hands as we're moving into this execute, and the server wall for deep breach has been open.
Yeah, and speaking of odd choices, Tomato run the FMG9 here. Do get a little bit more range at 1.5, but going to be playing from behind this mirror window with the tag team of Nightmare. So that's a lot of plant denial coming out. Here we go. The first of the smoke canisters coming out. It's going to delay for about 10 to 12 seconds. PKers and Focal, they're fine. They're just going to hold back there as Evil. Oh. No, they're actually going to push in close to the bomb. PKers is getting it down as Ozone going to be able to get a kill as well. Focal going to be able to get another one on the Nightmare. It's a 1v5 all of a sudden, and it's all going to come down to the Wamai. Going to do damage to Ozone, but not enough. Trapped here in the elevator with no escape. He's just going to have guns pointed at him no matter which way he goes. We can see now someone is rotating into the vault area to get another push here. This is essentially a tactical timeout, right? Kempeki, he's trapped here no matter what he does. There we go. We see PK is going to be on the swing here into the vault and get that final kill. A flawless round coming out from Lycus Empire. The smoke thought that they stalled long enough. Confused me as well. I gave him the credit to Caster's Curse, ladies and gentlemen, as Thermite just said, you know what? We're rushing straight through that and got the plant down. A fantastic play there coming out from Lycus. And again, this could be what they need. They're starting to swing. That was a very aggressive round.
And that round really came down to two interactions there. We had I'm blanking. It was Tomato who was on the smoke, correct?
Yes.
All right. So we had Tomato who was playing the smoke inside of that red hallway, and they, as you mentioned, they were playing there, but another thing to note is they were playing in the red hallway prone. So as a result of that, they ended up chucking up their Toxic Babe just a little bit too far and landing it where there was a little bit of space in between that, I believe it's the north-facing server wall, a little bit of space in between that north-facing server wall breach and the desk where you could safely walk through, not be affected by that smoke grenade, not give that, suffocating asphyxiation sound. And he got right on the bomb and planted off the back of that. So good on Peekers to identify that the smoke grenade was tossed poorly. And that was just a little bit of a misstep coming out from Tomato there that cost them the round.
Well, even if it would have landed absolutely perfectly, I think PKers just had it in his head that he was going to run through it, right? But we have time to analyze that later on. Is now Lycus going to be pushing here? The first time we are seeing tellers all match. Lycus Empire did not go there the entire time they were on defense. And look at these vertical holes on this window. This is absolutely incredible. If you try to swing through there, you're going to be shot. Also, Spudsack is sitting up there as well. And it looks like Tomato has an LMG pointed at the window. So that is not an area where you want to be trying to swing in at. It looks like PKers has an opportunity to swing in here through the square window, though. That one looks a little bit more safe. Might be going for that. And Folk also trying to use those vertical angles as well. Kempeki playing out here in the janitor area right outside of the admin office. Call that highway. You could call it whatever you want. But he's got big guy in Ozone to deal with now. They're going to be trying to push in to deal with him. But look at there's more vertical holes. Now Nightmare's going to be holding those, and I do believe he has the SMG-11 out, but it doesn't matter. It's Kempeki. Wamai! He has to worry about grenades, but no longer, actually, as he is taken off the board. Now it's all going to come down to a minute and a half as PKers is going to get taken out trying to breach the wall, and Big Guy going to be taking a lot of damage as well and has to rotate out quickly.
Something interesting to note here is that Big Guy, before any of his teammates were in the building, used one of his Finka boosts to little to no effect there. And now, as a result of that being out of Finka boost, but it doesn't matter. They're off the board completely. Lunik with a nice flank, 14th kill on the match, now leaving Nightmare in themselves in a 2 versus 3 against 3 relatively powerful operators on the board. Though Evil Clouds does not have any more of their utility left, they still have that LMG as it rings true, knocking Nightmare off the board, now putting Lunik in a 1 versus 3 clutch situation. Is aware of Zofia in the main lobby, as that is where Nightmare just got shot from, but right now, they're not having too much impact. They have too much ground to kind of make up and retake here, and Evil Clouds is already fully rotated back up top.
Yeah, Lunik going to take out Ozone, and that's actually massive. It's a triple kill for Lunik. He is going to have to ace clutch this. He's got Focal here right inside the small office. Evil Clouds, though, going to come back in. Just kind of spray a quad kill coming out from Lunik. This is all come down to him now. 5 seconds left. He gets the ace! Lunik on the alibi. What an absolute madman. We've seen a 4K clutch. We've seen an ace now coming out from Imperium on their defense. He wasn't going to let Lycus get that round. And what a fantastic play coming out. A fantastic solo effort coming out from Lunik there. Able to pull it off as the alibi and putting his team on match point.
That is nothing short of a blunder for Lycus. They had the site. They had the plant. They had everything just to let one menace take it from them. Lunik sitting now at 17-6. That rotation may have been long, but it's exactly what he needed to distract away from the fact that he was coming in for that perfect counterplay for what Lycus did there in that 1 versus 4. 1 versus 3. Correction. And
yeah, it was a 1v3, but he dropped everybody, so it doesn't really matter at that point. Yeah, I don't understand how that happens. You're the 3v1 against an alibi. And look, alibi is one of my favorite operators in the entire game. I love her, but she's not exactly known as a clutching machine, especially when you've got 2 guns pointed right at her. Fantastic again, just solo play coming out there from Lunik, able to win their gunfights and get it done. Now, speaking of getting things done, Imperium, they want to get this match done and over with, and they are going back to the open area. The last time they went here, Lunik had his 4K. So 9 kills in the 2 rounds here that he had. And as you can see, 17 kills overall. No one's even close to him, by the way. The next closest is 5 for his team. On the enemy team, 7. He's in an absolute completely different game right now.
I'm in a completely different game right now as well. I'm still trying to recover from that, but a big guy, not needing to recover too much, takes out the star player of this map, Luna.
I'm sorry, Lunik.
Getting
Lunik. Curse. I hit him with the curse.
Caster's curse gets him every time. You can play the best you want, so long as we're casting over you. You're gonna have a reality check. Now, big guy on the marble stairs, going through, trying to drone out, make sure that this hallway is going to be safe for him to push down as well. Vocal going through, getting some top pressure with Evil Clouds currently going into Tellers, going to be trying to take that archive control, and the rotate into sight has been reinforced off, so not going to be having that additional bit of pressure, but that was a good thing to identify from Imperium to close off that small office completely after having lost Lunik.
Yeah, I think that's the right play there. You have to do that because, like you said, you've lost your top frag, you lost your pulse, so you got to be able to take care of that. Ozone, though, does have the 2 hard breach tools, so could be doing some help with the hatches here eventually. Where we are going to see an exothermic charge go off and start blowing open some walls. And, big guy taking some damage. Fighting 2 people on these back stairs here. That's okay. He's going to heal himself back up as Evil Clouds, the other LMG bro on this team, going to be taking out Kenpeki, and that's going to be your Wamai off the board. Hopefully all those magnets have been thrown out. The wall is wide open now into that small office, and you can see a very good line of sight coming out there from Clouds. And now Tomato going to have to be trying to watch, and he's probably going to try to impact trick here. Is Nightmare looking for a fly up the blue stairs, and this could be dangerous. Anybody is sitting in that bottom square area. I don't see anyone there. So Clouds is in the server room, so he could be getting that kill there. But as of right now, there's nobody directly in Nightmare's line of sight.
Nightmare is going to be having a real hard time here as we're going to be seeing Peekers watching the blue stairs. He does fall, and Big Guy with an injury and finish on Spads now in a 1 versus 5. Make that a 0 versus 5. As Big Guy with the big plays on the round closes it out and makes it 6-4 for Lycus.
That's actually going to be a 3K for Big and a flawless round coming out there as they win round 10. So while Imperium might be match point, Lycus Empire is doing everything they can here to stop them from winning. And it might be too little too late. However, it's never over until it's over. We are only 2 rounds away now from sending this into overtime, but they've got to play perfect siege, right? They cannot mess up at all. They do not have a buffer round anymore. This is match point for Imperium. And speaking of match point, we're going to go back downstairs into the CCTV area for this potential final defense here for Imperium. And like I said, like Empire, they've got to attack this perfectly. They cannot afford a mistake because this could be it.
Now, mention Imperium has brought a vastly different lineup compared to their previous time inside of the basement. They have not a single operator that, except for the Echo, that was the same on their basement hold. Going instead for the Oryx, Castle, Mute, and Vigil. Looks like they really want to deny this top floor pressure that Lycus had brought out in the previous round and try to just stop them in their tracks.
Yeah, Imperium is definitely dedicating a lot more of a utility burn here. The thing, though, if you're going to be doing this type of setup, this is what I don't understand here. Could we be seeing a rush here? We don't even have the walls reinforced. Evil Clouds could just go in here and start busting this wall out, and that might be exactly what he does. We see a magnet, or no, not even a magnet. That was a yokai being tossed out. There is no anti-projectile for the team here. Nightmare is playing inside of red, though. Lonnie, though, going to be able to get one onto focal. So that is going to be your slide off the board. No soft breach, but on a map like this, not really that important. Clouds is going to be breaking open that wall here, server. 45 seconds in, we do have the wall open, but it almost looks like Lycus is kind of stalled out. They got into server very quickly, but have not yet been able to do anything with it. And as soon as I say that, here comes Ozone, going to be doing a little trick of Imperium's repertoire here. However, does have to watch out for a potential Nitro coming out from Nightmare. Lunik, though, going to be swinging over. This could be the impact grenade there. Oh, it missed!
Oh!
But PKers is going to go down, though. He's going to have to get picked back up, and he's in a very bad spot. You can see him trying to crawl over behind the shield to give himself a little bit of cover. Now going to be crawling back. Oh, Evil Clouds. He's right there. You can barely see the tip of his head. Big guy on the knock. Going to have to rotate all the way around. Not even in the building. Lycus Empire has to do something quick, though. PK's down very low, and we're going to see some smoke start to come out. Those will deploy. There's nothing to stop them, but they do have to watch as a potential Nitro. Again, could be coming out from the mute. Still has it in hand. Minute 10 left here. Grenades, flashbangs, everything being thrown into that room.
A lot of good pressure coming out from Lycus here, but again, it's being caught and being held very efficiently by Imperium here. Kentucky as well. Position is known, but we're going to be seeing Pigers getting a nice shot on Nightmares. There's the C4 gone, and no more impacts on the board, so this plant is going to be confirmed unless the Yokai can get it. No! Evil Clouds goes down, and the plant is confirmed. Big guy getting another one. Lunik, actually, getting another one for his troubles, but Tomato with a nice pre-fire, and Lunik with a nice shot, and that's the map! That's the map! Ozone went down, and that's it! 7-4 Imperium win off the back of some incredible clutch factor coming out from Lunik.
I mean, not surprised, right? Lunik has gone nuclear in this game, going absolutely insane, dropping so many kills for his team. Definitely playing in that fragger role. A 7-4 victory for Imperium, and that is good for them because they definitely needed it. Both of these teams coming in, they weren't looking so hot, right? Imperium was 1-2, Lycus Empire was 0-1, and it's sad because Lycus was actually first place in their qualifiers. So we know they can play. They went 6-0-2 through their qualifiers. Imperium, though, they were kind of rocky. However, looking at the way they played today, I mean, Lunik with a 4K and an ace on defense, as well as multiple clutch rounds coming out. Spud had a 3K as well. So they obviously have some gunners and they can obviously play. And it's good to kind of see them finally getting their groove and playing as a team that we know that Imperium can play as. I've casted them in other leagues and they are really good. They just sometimes they have a little bit of a slow start. That's all.
Yeah, slow start they did have indeed, but not today. They started off with an incredible attacking side, going up 4-0 and then losing their last two, as Lycus had some really good adaptations and kind of fixed those problem points that Imperium was putting onto them. But unfortunately, in the end, Lunik was still up on the board and closed out the match with a 3K on them. And unfortunately, when you have a star fragger like that, and they're having such a huge impact on the game, you just gotta cut them off the board and try to stop them in their tracks before they can continue that snowball.
Yeah, we did see that. Round 10, right? The open area, there was a flawless round, 3K, or big head of 3K. And they were able to get it because they took Lunik off the board, right? If you go back through and look at the statistics, I want to say that the majority of rounds that Lycus Empire won, it's because they were able to take Lunik off the board very quickly. But that is going to wrap it up for us here for this first match. Unfortunately, due to some rescheduling issues, there will not be another match until 8 o'clock tonight. However, it will be casted at 8 o'clock Eastern. So don't forget to follow the channel. Also, turn on the notifications so that whenever we go live with these games, you guys can get a notification and come by and watch the action. But yeah, I think at this point, it was a 7-4 victory. GG's to both team. Imperium obviously getting the W, and in a rather dominant fashion. Lunik, you're absolutely insane. Kid went nuclear today. So, yeah, that's about it.
No, I do not want to be on the other side of that server, but thank you again for tuning in for this match from All World Gaming. I've been Blaze. This has been Crisis. Thank you again for watching. Catch us back at 8 o'clock when we have our next matches.